Hi, Jake Smith for the House of Rohl here. In this video, I will show you how to install the rough, flush the valve, and install the cartridge and trim. As I do this, I will highlight some of the great features and benefits of the R83 multi-function system. The R83 is a 3/4 inch stacked valve with a high flow rate of 20 gallons per minute. The upper control and lower control each have one function. The upper control delivers 10 gallons per minute, and the lower control delivers 7.4 gallons per minute. The upper control outlet is 3/4 inch NPT and is at 12 o'clock here. The lower control outlet is 3/4 inch NPT and is at 3 o'clock here. The hot and cold supplies lines are at 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock respectively. What is unique about this valve is there are also two 1/2 inch NPT outlets that will deliver almost 3 gallons per minute each, here and here. But to use these outlets, you must install a 1/2 inch volume control, as there is not a volume control in the rough. As you can see in this model, there is a 1/2 inch R20 volume control installed. If the R83 rough is installed with the lines reversed, by the way, there is no reverse cartridge. You will have to change the supply connections. This is a 3/4 inch NPT male inlet connection only. If you want to use PEX, please source adapters at your supplies house. We suggest oversizing the connection to have full flow. This is the stud bay. This model is wood, but you may see installations out in the field that would be 2x4 metal. The first feature I'm going to speak about is the plaster guard. It's to protect the valve after installation and during the mounting of the solid surface or tile. A plumber will estimate the finished wall and then adjust the stringer accordingly. The installation depth on this valve is a generous 3 1/4 minimum and 4 3/4 inches maximum. There are no extension kits. The guard has indications that clearly show the minimum and maximum measurements. The service stops are in the open position on removal from the box. That's here. To operate these stops, use a standard slotted screwdriver, screw each stop in until it stops, and then that will shut off the hot and cold supply. There are no service plugs, but the cartridges are sent with the trim. The cartridges are not installed, and after flushing the valve, they will be installed when the trim is put in. To flush the valve, turn the service stops to the close, remove the cartridges, and flush the valve for factory recommended 20 seconds. By the way, if the valve is to be installed with copper and you're going to sweat the connections, you're in luck. The stops can't be removed, and the cartridges are not installed when the valve is taken out of the box, so making those connections will be easy. Prior to actually opening up the stops to flush the valve, make sure that you use some kind of material, like a rag, to block the opening to prevent any water from going into the finished wall. Once that's in place, use another rag to capture the water that's coming out of the valve itself, and you can see that there is a top portion and a lower portion. In this case, the stops are very, very far in to the wall. And recommendation is open these for a full 20 seconds on each side. So now with the valve thoroughly flushed, remove the installation nuts. Remove the padding from around the finished wall and insert the cartridge. These cartridges are not color-coded, so you have to look into each one of the installations to make sure that the mounting pins fit the mounting pins inside the cavity. The mounting pins are located at approximately 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock on the inside of the cavity. Next, we installed the nuts, hand tight, and then using your best judgment, do not over tighten these nuts. This is probably the most important part of the whole installations. Over tightening of the nut can cause a stiff handle on the diverter and on the thermostatic control. So we only want to turn that 1/4 turn. With the cartridges installed, now open up the hot and cold stops to their full open position and check for any leaks on the cartridges and on the housings. I suggest that the screws are either all the way open or all the way closed. Don't leave them in between. And once you get to this point, I would open up one side or the other to make sure that you've got water running through the valve. Once we've got that confirmed, we're ready to install the trim. Next to go on is the trim plate itself. You will see on this that the logo is at 6 o'clock. Place that logo at 6 o'clock. Next to be installed, this is the diverter nut that is installed with 2 Allen keys, one at 12 o'clock and one at 6 o'clock. These are 2mm. I would tighten them alternately. On the bottom, there will be installed a handle. On the top, once we get the Allen keys tightened, there will be a screw cover cap that covers that part of the installation. Now, this is probably the second most critical thing to do as far as the operation goes. You want to tighten these alternately, install the lever, and make sure that it won't slip. As you see, we've installed the bottom lever and that the lever is at 6 o'clock. The upper lever, and you can see that there is a long Allen key that's here, is actually installed at 12 o'clock. Don't forget, there is only one function per handle. And as with the other handles, this is, to me, the most critical portion of this. You tighten them alternately. And then the final piece is that you have the thermostatic control handle that goes on each the top and on the bottom installations. This is a clip system. As you can see, you have 38 degrees centigrade, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Make sure that that is in the horizontal position. Use a bead of silicone on the wall itself, except at the 6 o'clock portion on the bottom of the trim plate, and then test the system so that you know everything works. In this installation, the top lever actually turns on the bottom sprays, and the bottom lever turns on the shower head. There are 2 volume controls for each one of the hand showers that are in the system. The R83 is the highest flow valve that we've got at 20 gallons per minute, and if you're looking for a lot of water, this is the valve for you.